It's episode 1265, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, it's our managing editor, downtown, Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
Okay, well, I want to start off the show, dear listeners, by letting you know a little bit of explanation. Number one, I don't know, you early adopters noticed, those of you who listen to the show later probably didn't, but this episode went up late. It went up 12, 15 hours after we normally post. Now, why is that? It's because we recorded late, and when you record late, you leave yourself no margin for error. And once in a blue moon, there's error. And we ran into that. So, well, our guest today that we had for the show, the audio file of that interview got corrupted. So, again, we recorded late, no margin for error. So there's no guest on today's show. But we do have a special segment coming up. I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. But yeah, weird. I can't remember the last time we recorded a show without a guest. So first time for everything. Well, there. Now I've talked to the listeners. Jesse. Okay, you know what I'm realizing?
What's up?
I've been listening to other podcasts recently because of work that we're doing. Some new launches, some new shows we're doing. Just refreshing myself on the landscape of podcasts, your world that you live in every day.
Yeah.
And I have noticed that most podcasts start the show by acknowledging the listener. They go, "Hey, everybody, I'm so glad you're joining us today. What we're going to do today is this. Here's my guest today." And they're talking to the listener. You know what I do? "Hey, Jesse, what's going on, Jesse?" And I don't acknowledge the listener at all. I'm a terrible host of podcasts is what I'm saying.
I don't know. What podcasts are you listening to for a reference point?
All of them. I've just, specifically.
Give me like two.
Okay, there was like a Christian influencer one that I listened to yesterday with Emily, and she did that. That's basically what I'm going off of.
That's my, okay. You confirm my point. To me, no offense to the listeners, and you know, look, I'm not throwing shade. I don't know who it was. You don't have to name names.
She was top 15, and I was surprised by that. So I listened to the first minute of it.
I think here's what I've because obviously we live in this world. So I've been thinking about this medium for now most of my adult professional life, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and what I've come to realize is like, whatever feels authentic to the show is what is right. Like if you let's say you take someone OG, like take Mark Maron, who's about to retire, but he was an OG. He starts off with, "What's up? What the effers? What the," you know, his show's called WTF, right? And he just has a string of podcast greetings. If you listen to other shows, sometimes they're just right in you know, there's not even a guest intro. They're just kind of jumping right into the conversation. I feel like, look, the listeners are smart, right? They don't need to be greeted. They downloaded the podcast. What do they think they're getting? Why do they don't need? It's not like answering a phone and saying hello. Did someone answer? I need confirmation.
That's my
you
new
downloaded
podcast
a show, you know?
opener. Hello. That's it.
Hello.
Well, you say hello,
you?
hello.
I do, but
You're saying hello to me, not the listener.
You.
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe the first hello is to you. The second hello is to the listeners.
No, because I answer the
Oh.
phone. Hello. You know, hello.
Like professionally?
It's yeah. I think it's whatever authentic to the show.
Well, good. I'm glad you said that, because what I like to do to start the show is just catch up, get to know what's going on in your world this week. I know what's going on in Emily's world. I haven't talked to you in a few days. What's going on in your world? This is the fun time for you, right? I mean, football season's kicking up, basketball's next month, but you're a big fantasy sports guy, and so like this is your prime time, right? NFL's kicking off this weekend.
We're coming off the biggest weekend in fantasy sports. Labor Day weekends typically when all the fantasy football drafts. Now, that consumed much of my weekend. Are you guys not involved in fantasy football at all? Is that still not because I
You
feel
haven't
like
invited me. You haven't invited me once, so no. You're in 7 leagues and you haven't found one spot in the 20 years I've known you.
I'm down to 2. I've been slowly trying to wean myself off. I'm in a neighborhood league, which I hosted with all the neighbors and their kids on Sunday. And then I've been in one league that I've been in for like 20 years with the same guys. it's we're at the stage. I still love all those guys, but now this is probably one of the only times a year I talk to them or see them. So it's a great excuse. Have you guys not dipped your toe in the fantasy waters at all?
Mm-mm.
Thank you for asking. I, of course, have not. I barely pay attention when I do March Madness, but I do talk to my dad, and I listen to him for about 4 minutes, talked about his fantasy teams, because that's about all I can handle. But
yeah,
in years past, I've done it. Like we had office ones and stuff. I've done it, and I enjoyed it because I don't have a rooting interest in the NFL, so it gave me a reason to pay attention. I did for several years. I did fantasy basketball, NBA, hosted a league that had the weirdest group of people. It was like friends, and then like Joel Houston from Hillsong, and then like a bunch of like artists and stuff. It was so random. And everybody with basketball just lost interest after about a month because it was there's so many games.
So many games. Yeah. And it's a date, but I think that's the charm of fantasy football. It's like you set your lineup for the week and it's pretty much good to go. Like it's a very minimal commitment. But just like everything, and maybe this is just me getting old, but like I feel like there's too many apps for everything. Like I am dying for the day, because I'm also in, like, if there's someone throwing a party or something, right? They're suddenly got to download an app to figure out, who's bringing what, or times, or like, God forbid you get invited to a wedding. They probably have their own app just for that wedding. Everyone's communicating on all. If you go to church, like, oh, they got an app. I want to tithe. In fantasy, it's the worst. Every different platform. I'm like declining things now if it requires an app. Like there are whole groups of friends that I'm not communicating to because they use some chat app that I just don't want to have.
Oh yeah, the WhatsApp. I same. The Montana group. There was one random like Android guy on our trip, and so because of him, they decided to go to WhatsApp. And I was like, "See you guys in a year." I haven't heard from any of them other than my close friends. That we just have different text group chats, but. Like, yeah, no, I'm the same way. I'm not going to download WhatsApp just for y'all. Like, I don't need that.
It really hit home this weekend because, my son's old enough to play in leagues and stuff. I'm like, look, I'm just not playing in a league if I have to download some new app. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to set up an account. I don't want to verify. I don't have to memorize another password. Okay.
What happened to ESPN.com? I mean, like, that's where I did it back in the day. I mean, like, don't
it's
they
still
do it
around? It's still around, but every year there's like new stuff, and now with all like the gambling stuff, that there's all this integration, but it's getting so bad. It's like this watching it. And I know we sound like old people yelling at clouds, but doesn't everyone feel like this? It's like Red Zone this year is moving to ESPN, so I got to get some other dumb app for that. I'm just. The app culture, like I said, it might dictate my social life. It from here on, what I do and who I speak to, maybe if it requires me to download something. If it does, I think it's out of my life. That's how I'm not saying I would leave. I'm not saying I would leave a church over it, but I might not be that involved. If it comes to it.
Now that you say that, I will say I have 4 different apps downloaded for my church for various different things. And it does feel a bit excessive. I hadn't thought about it until this moment, but we do need to maybe figure out something with the app culture.
Wait. You got your giving app. You got probably your volunteer schedule app.
Well, okay. So there's the church has its own app, like with the events and different things on that. And then there's the giving app.
That's called a website, but okay.
Okay, well, there's also an app for that. And then I do have it's not WhatsApp. I actually can't remember what it's called, but it's something like WhatsApp that we use for my community group, our group chat, because we all have different phones, whatever. And then I started serving in kids this summer, and to like get your schedule for serving, that's a whole other app that they submit requests and everything to. So 4 apps for one church. And I'm sure there's probably more out there because I'm not even that involved. And I'm like, maybe we can,
Emily,
work with people.
You go every week. You're in a small group. You serve in the kids ministry. I would say you're yes.
I guess
you are
I am
involved.
I'm involved, sure. But I'm saying there's
a few people more involved than you.
But I'm saying there are other things I could be involved in if I had more time, and that would probably make me have to get another app.
Yeah. Well, here's the one case with the church app. I know I'm like speaking out of both sides of my mouth here, but I'm just venting. Maybe because I came off a lot. Like I had like so many people at my house on Sunday, prepping for this, like literally, I don't know, 25 people. And I'm sweating on a laptop trying to get draft stuff set up while people are talking. Like I am like having more anxiety in my own home over setting up this fantasy league as like I see the clock ticking down till draft time to make sure everyone has set up than I am at work. Like it was the most stressed I've been in a long time. And that's where I was like, this has just gone too far, But I will say this, the one thing about the church app, it if your church has an app, especially for something like giving or volunteering, it assures that you're giving or volunteering to the right church. Because there was one Sunday where we stayed home from church and Dana, my wife, it's time to tithe. And she went to, our church is called Trinity Church. Anyway, she went online, submitted our tithe or whatever. The next week, we got a new attendee packet from a church in Arizona that was also called Trinity Church, thanking us for our financial contribution to their church. And she had realized she had gone to the wrong Trinity Church, one that was in Arizona. So that left us in a conundrum. Can you ask for a tithe refund if it was to the wrong church? And we had a long discussion about this. What
did you decide?
No, you're going to leave the money there. You're just going to bless them, aren't you?
It's pending litigation right now. No. We left it in Arizona. I think we sent them a message that it was the wrong one, but yeah. So I guess I can see a case for the app, but it did lead to the discussion. Is it ever appropriate to ask for a refund?
I can't think of a single time when it would be appropriate.
I could, because I thought about it.
Okay.
What?
If it was like
if your wife donated to the wrong Trinity Church?
No, if well, in that case, no. As long as that Trinity Church is Orthodox, like, what if it was like an LDS Trinity or something, where it's like, I just don't know.
Don't they believe in like the quad? They don't just believe in the Trinity. Isn't there another extra one in there? I think
they still. I don't know. All I know is like I don't think I'd feel comfortable tithing. And like I have no beef with the LDS. I'm just saying theologically, I don't know if I
give them money.
That's where. So I did think about this when it would be appropriate to ask for the refund.
So when did you come up with? What's the rules?
I think if it's
non-Christian.
If it's outside of like Orthodox, if you feel like their teachings are at odds,
okay,
maybe. And I'm not saying you have to. Then I'm just saying I don't think. What about? Totally
so you're talking like I would say most people agree, although Mormons wouldn't agree with this. I would say most evangelical Christians would agree that Mormons are not evangelical Christian. And so that's your line, is almost like religion. What about denomination? What if you're non-denom and you send it over to a really liberal Methodist church, United Methodist?
I don't care.
All right.
Well, and again, I don't even know if I'd care with the LDS. I'm just saying, like, personally, I'd probably let that go too. I've known many Mormons, and they're incredible people. They are. I've never met one that isn't one of the nicest, honestly, most Christ-like person I've met. Like, they're nicer than most like evangelical Christians I've met, and more generous. I'd probably just let it go. I'm just saying, if I were to make a theological case for asking for a tithe refund, and I think they would agree with me, it's when there's a hard theological departure, then you could justify asking for the refund. I think I'm too non-confrontational to ask for it, though, to be honest.
You know what I learned this week? Number one state for plastic surgery is Utah. So maybe the reason why all the Mormons are so nice is because it's that whole thing of look good, feel good. Look good, play good. For, you like your uniform, you play better. Yeah, I got all the plastic surgery. I look good, so I'm nice to people because I'm not insecure anymore.
Well, they also eat clean.
Pain meds from...
They eat clean. There's no caffeine. There's no alcohol. They're clean living.
The new generation likes their soda pops. They have caffeine. They don't drink coffee though.
Like I said, the only ones I've met are some of the nicest people ever. So I'm not saying I would take back the donation. I'm just saying. Do
you think they're so nice they would give it back with no questions asked?
I think so. I really do. I think because they seem very non-confrontational as well.
That's not what I hear about how the church controls people's lives, and that there's a deep, dark side to it all.
Maybe there is. That's not been my experience, but to be honest, I haven't mistakenly donated to them. So, who am I?
I'm getting all my information from former Mormon wives, FYI, on reality television.
I know exactly where you're.
I think yours is pretty Bravo-centric.
No, Hulu-centric. But yes.
Mine have been out in the wild and delightful folk.
This year, this season, Dancing with the Stars will have 2 Mormon contestants on it.
Mormon wife contestants.
Yeah, I will get more information about the religion by watching Dancing with the Stars this year. All right, moving the show along. Not only do we have One Has to Go at the end of the show, but today we are debuting issue 117 of Relevant. And Emily and I will tell you all about it coming up as well. Very excited. It's been a long time coming. The cover is actually the new generation of kind of indie artists, Christian indie artists that are exploding right now. And we have interviews with some of the big names. But I mean, it is one of the most stacked lineups of magazine content we have ever put together. But you'll hear all about it coming up. But stay tuned right now. Up next, it's Relevant Buzz.
Where bold women thrive, Sweetbriar College empowers women to lead with purpose and integrity. Our 2,847-acre campus is more than beautiful. It's a place to grow in courage, character, and calling. With hands-on academics, a close-knit community, and spaces like vineyards, greenhouses, and equestrian arenas, Sweetbriar blends tradition with vision. Founded in 1901, we've always believed in the power of women to shape a better world, faithfully, fearlessly, and together. Find out more at sbc.edu.
Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Tell us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily.
Okay, so the first thing I want to cover is
Wait, let me talk to the listener. Hey, listeners, I'm going to ask Emily now to tell us what's at the intersection of faith and culture. Emily, join me in talking to the listeners and tell them what's going on.
Hello, listeners.
That's what podcasters do now. That's what I've learned by listening to one Christian influencer podcast yesterday.
Yeah, I love that you're going to change everything about podcasts after doing it for 20 years.
Just like everything I know about Mormons is from a Hulu show. So I'm
sensing a pattern here. We should actually talk about that later.
Yeah.
I've changed my whole thing. They can have my tithe. I'm on the record if I mistakenly, like I said, I don't know if they want it. I don't know if there's a rule about it, but I'm just saying I like them. I'm on the record. So there's that if you're listening.
You're going to wave to them from heaven in the eternity? You're going to wave at your friends down at the other locations that they may be?
Hey, listen, I'm not saying who goes where. I'm not judging, I
think the Bible says who goes where.
All I'm saying is I have really enjoyed my time that I've spent with any Mormon.
Well, you should enjoy it now because you won't, after you die, you won't see them again.
Listen, I'm not my job to judge. Okay.
That's true.
Moving on to Buzz. Listeners,
they can have my mistaken tithe. I take it back. Use it for something good. Just
I could see you being aware of, I don't want to say these things publicly on the record that could be taken out of context. I could see you editing yourself in your brain.
You
it was
see
really
the
funny.
Gears turn.
Yes.
Like, this is why they don't allow like cell phones in like comedy clubs anymore because they don't want people self-filtering. They just want them to say it.
Yeah.
And maybe we're better off that there's some accountability. And now you can't just say any wildly inappropriate thing that pops into your head. So there, Emily, let's just go because it's going to go downhill rapidly.
Yeah, let's try to pull us out of that. Okay. First thing I want to talk about is something that has been going viral online recently, and that is Gavin Castellanegno. He is one of the stars of The Summer I Turned Pretty, which is a show I've been watching all summer long. I assume it's safe to assume that you guys have also been watching it.
Jesse, definitely. I'm sure.
I've seen the tile.
On the Amazon Prime, the little title.
Sometimes the preview starts playing, but that's about it.
Honestly, I can't believe that it's as popular as it is, like this cultural moment, because I literally didn't realize anybody ever watched anything on Amazon Prime, or Prime Video, they call it.
I would say it's safe to say this is definitely one of the biggest shows on Amazon Prime. Now,
it's not Amazon Prime. The press release says specifically call it Prime Video, no Amazon.
Well, this is like HBO Max, whatever. I'm going to call it what I want. You know what I'm talking about.
This is their problem, not ours. We know exactly what Emily's problem.
I still call it Twitter, I don't care.
And no one is confused by Emily calling it Amazon Prime. The only people mad about this are the nerds that work at Amazon that decided on the rebrand. That's the only people. Anyway, I know what you're talking about, Emily.
And I don't cater to them. Anyways,
can they just improve their interface? Like, I don't even know what they have. Like, I'll go on there. Like, if I hear specifically like the Duggar documentary thing, the Happy Shiny People,
Happy People.
like, oh, there it is. It's at the top. I can watch that. I don't browse it. It's a terrible interface for like discovering content because 2/3 of the content is like, oh, I want to watch that. And then it's like, you can buy it. It's like, they don't separate.
But honestly, who has a good interface? Like, I feel like they all kind of...
The new Netflix one is good. The new one where it's like everything's bigger now. I thought that was pretty good.
I don't like... Here's my beef with all of the new ones is like, I don't like when I like to browse in silence. I want to browse and just look at tiles. I don't want something to start playing. Like, I have to mute my TV.
You can change the setting in the app.
It's a whole thing. Just make the default like we want it. Okay? I just want to thumb through and not hear, random things start playing. That's my beef with it. Anyway,
you have got a lot of app beefs these days. You are turning into get off my lawn.
No, I feel like I could simplify the world. I feel like I'm my generation Steve Jobs. Like, things are getting out of control. We need someone just to simplify. Okay?
The world is PC. You need to Mac it up and just simplify it.
That's that is exactly what's happening. Yep. It's like when Windows just got out of control. That's what's happening to our world. We just need some creative, like, design person to come in and just recognize this and create a solution. Maybe it's...
And that's you.
Or some...
No, it's not Jesse. Jesse's an idea guy. He's not an implementer guy. So he's just going to have all these observations and do nothing with them.
You need like a note taker to jot down your ideas, and then someone far less lazy actually executes.
Like when Kramer started Kramerica Industries, he was the idea guy, and then he had his intern Darren implement all of his ideas. Perfect. That's what Jesse needs as an intern, Darren.
That's right. And they have to be incredibly good at design and software development, and possibly hardware engineering, because I have a whole TV interface that I'd like someone to build. It involves Minority Report type of functionality. Anyway, continue, Emily.
I never understood why Kramer's idea of putting a bladder inside of oil tankers to prevent spills. I never understood why they didn't actually move forward with that. That was a great idea. I mean, back in the 90s, there was all these oil spills killing all the ducks everywhere, and it's like, if you would have had a big bladder, you could have cracked the hole. Nothing would have spilled out. You would have had a rubber bladder inside of it. I thought it was a great idea. Kramer was onto something.
I got to assume they do, but I also got to assume that if you are an oil tanker and it's enough to puncture, 6-inch steel walls, I don't know how much
it's going to pop the balloon on the inside.
I don't know how much the rubber balloon's going to help. Anyway,
all right, you're right. That's a good point.
I don't know if engineers should be taking ideas from Seinfeld.
I'm saying that was the one that seemed plausible. His other ideas were ridiculous. But
do you remember how his experiment did with him saying, "Well, that didn't work" when it burst all over and nearly killed Jerry's girlfriend, sending Darren to prison for a long, long time.
That is a true story.
Anyway,
hello, I'm not looking up. And then the oil bladders went all over. All right.
Okay, well, back to the shows from this century. So we're talking about The Summer I Turned Pretty. No, I want to talk about Gavin, who plays Jeremiah in The Summer I Turned Pretty. A lot of people have been talking about the show all summer, but what really struck us was that...
Give us the premise. I don't even know what the show is about. I've seen a picture of two boys and a girl. Is that... Who turned pretty and what happened?
So the story, the main girl is a girl named Belly. And there are two brothers that are both in love with her, and at different times she's in love with them. And so really the show is about who's she going to end up with between these two brothers.
Did she love one when she was ugly and one when she had turned pretty?
So the whole Summer I Turned Pretty is just her going through puberty. Like, she turned pretty after she was 16. Like, she just went through puberty and grew up, whatever. And so the older brother, who was her first love, they start dating. Stuff happens. They break up. She starts dating the younger brother, but there's still lingering feelings with the older brother. And there's some tension.
Jesse looks so condescending at you right now. But here's the thing, Jesse. You can't look down on her for loving the show when you watch Outer Banks religiously.
I don't watch it. It's because religiously, I would say, but I would say it's basically the same premise.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's the same show, and you're looking down on Emily.
Except for there's treasure hunting. Okay. It's a teen soap opera with a twist. Yeah. They're finding the lost city of El Dorado or Blackbeard's treasure. Okay. If it was just the teen drama, I wouldn't watch. But if Summer I Turned Pretty was like, yes, it's this teen drama, but it's also a whodunit murder mystery, maybe I'm in. But it doesn't have that. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it's just the teen drama, it would be like, it's like saying, it's like The Office if it was just Jim and Pam's romance and none of the hijinks and comedy. I'm not watching. It's fine if it's a little, note. Anyway, continue, Emily.
We're gonna have
is there time travel? Is there treasure hunting? Are there aliens?
Time travel in the sense that we skip
Outer Banks has time travel?
No, I'm just saying they need a twist.
Got it.
It's like saying Stranger Things is like a coming of age show. It is, but it's like a sci-fi, paranormal.
There's extra there, yeah.
Exactly. It's not like the Wonder Years. It's the Wonder Years in a sci-fi world. So that's my thing.
Got it.
Well, anyways, this, like other great teen soap operas, is just about romance. But Gavin plays one of the brothers, Jeremiah, and really since the show ever started, he has been using his platform to talk about his faith in a really bold way, which I'm honestly surprised by, because typically we see a lot of celebrities as they get more and more famous, they maybe shy away from talking about things like faith or things that could potentially be controversial. But he's continued to talk about it in interviews, post videos on social media. I actually want to play a clip that he had posted on TikTok a few months ago where he kind of gives like a mini sermon about being a lukewarm Christian. This is just a little clip of it.
And so if he is the author and finisher of your faith, just ask him for more faith. If you struggle with being like, I don't really want to pursue God, I'm kind of just chilling, doing my thing, then ask him for faith. Like, it'll completely change your perspective. That's changed my whole life in prayer and in everything in pursuing the Lord. It's just asking for more faith. And Jesus is always interceding for you, and he desires to give you faith. He desires to have more personal encounters with you. So he's willing to do that for you in your life. And so if you don't feel like you want to repent and you don't feel like you want to invite God in, then just ask him for faith. And it's that simple. And from that, the Lord will give it to you. And then you will have enough faith to just invite God in. And from that comes a personal encounter where you just get like captivated by him, and you want a personal encounter every single day and every second and every conversation. And you just are eager to see him.
That's very cool. It's interesting. The other thing he's very vocal about in his social media, ironically, is treasure hunting. He's a big treasure hunter. I found that very ironic. A lot of videos, maps, things like that, coins, clues. Yeah, he's into it.
True treasure that we all should be going for, maybe, the eternal treasure.
Yeah, it's both. He's into both. The literal treasure hunting is what I'm saying.
You're more interested in the pirate treasure hunting, though.
Equally. I want, it's good for him.
So like I said, it's just really cool to see, like, as the show has like continued to grow. Like, I mean, there are millions of people watching the show. And so for him to use his platform of people tuning in every week and seeing him honestly give like these little mini sermons, like I don't know, it just reminds me of this next generation is so bold in their faith, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
I, again, having never seen the show, didn't know who he was. We posted this clip few days ago, this week, within the week. It is by far the biggest clip we've ever posted. It's hundreds of thousands of likes, millions of views. It's insane. He's very popular. I was blown away by how popular he is. So what cool.
is funny though is I would say, based on an eye test for the majority, no one wants him to end up with the girl on the show. Everyone is on the other brother's side. So feel bad for him because he's gonna lose on the show, but he'll win.
Is this a Twilight thing, like team so and so and team so and so?
Yes, there's Team Jeremiah and Team Conrad.
Okay, but you just made my point, Cameron. The reason people love that, not because of the teen drama, because they were also vampires. Throw in one twist with this show, okay? That's all I'm saying. Listen, I hope he's listening. You need a twist, okay? I don't see this going beyond one season.
I think the brother thing is the twist. Like, it is crazy that, like...
No, I'm talking vampires or treasure. I'm not talking, or the upside
supernatural.
Down. I'm not talking siblings. This is just regular love triangle. Give me a cool supernatural or historical legendary twist. That's all. Just a little hint there.
I walked through... my ex-wife was watching Twilight one time on DVD or whatever it was on TV. I don't know what she's watching it. And I walked through the room, and they were like running through the woods. I think it was raining. It was at nighttime. Yeah. And they came across a field, and they started playing shirtless baseball.
Yeah.
And I thought,
That's the first.
okay,
movie.
well, this isn't for me. I just kept going. I was doing laundry or something. I just kept going.
I disagree. A shirt. There are very few films that have a shirtless sports scene, and I'm not like, I'm probably in. Going back to Top Gun, it's you just throw that in there. There's no, Top Gun. There's no point in that volleyball scene. Like it does nothing for the plot.
There's a point in the volleyball scene.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, like plot wise, By the way, he leaves that volleyball game early. I don't know when the last time you've seen the original Top Gun was. He's playing one in jeans for. Think about how hot and sweat and sand. It's sand. It's not gym volleyball. You think about playing sand volleyball in jeans. How you're feeling, and he goes on a date from there. Okay, that just I don't know. It just wasn't needed. That's a pretty grimy look.
I heard a TV reviewer on NPR the other day, and he was reviewing some new show. I don't even know which one it was. And he quoted another reviewer. He was talking about the elements of the show. Some of them were gratuitous and distracting to the story. And he said, it reminded me of a quote I read from another prolific film reviewer. And he said, sex scenes in movies are pointless. It's like we have to stop the story to watch people have sex, and then the story resumes afterwards. He said, I feel the same way about chase scenes. He's like, can we just get to the end of the chase and let's get the story resume? And he said, and the volleyball scene reminds me of that. Like, what is it with these random filler scenes that don't add anything to the story? The story pauses for a minute or two and then continues at the end of it.
I do think you need space to breathe, though. Like, I think if you just go after these, like, big high moments, you as a viewer will just be on edge the whole time.
Well, I think the critic was saying the opposite. Like, I don't need more chase scenes, which would be the big high moment. He's like, this didn't add anything to the story. Get back to the story. That's what he was saying.
But I think he's wrong in that some movies, the story is just to set up the next chase. Like if you watch the latest Mission Impossible.
No, I don't like those movies. Like the same way you don't like reality TV.
The plot is... They basically, there's about a minute of exposition of explaining what this impossible mission is. And it's 20 minutes of a chase doing the mission. Like, I think he's missing the point of a chase movie. Or, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
if you watch...
I don't think he was talking about Mission Impossible because that is a quest chase movie. You're right. I think he was talking about like when a random scene, like a sex scene or a chase scene or a volleyball scene interrupts the story of a movie, I think is what he was more talking about.
It's like the movie Extraction. It's like, let's get through the extraction and get to the story. It's like, it's literally just an extraction for like an hour and a half. It's Anyway,
I do think there are definitely times when a scene, it's like, I think the director just wanted this for some reason. Like I watched the new Coen movie, Honey Don't, and there were a lot of sex scenes in it that I like as I'm watching in the theaters thinking, what are we doing here? Like, can we just move on? So I think there are times
I have a question for you in that moment. Real serious question. Answer me this. What would Jesus do? Would he be there watching those scenes?
Well, they didn't have movie theaters back then.
What would he do?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Today? What would he do?
I don't know. The Bible's pretty,
You would have prayed.
Pretty racy.
That's the Old Testament. Jesus came back and
not a lot of chase scenes.
Separated. There's a whole new thing.
Not a lot of chase scenes.
All right,
Can you imagine if there was just a chase scene in the Bible? I kind of wish they would add a chase scene into the Bible. That'd be fun. I don't know where it would be, but I guess maybe. Well, there is a chase.
When Jesus went down to hell after the crucifixion for 3 days, and he's running around trying to find the keys. There could have been some chasing down there. He's trying to get all the Mormons out of the way, like they're all cluttering everything up.
I'm sure we'll see that in the resurrection of Christ. Yeah. I was thinking more along the lines of the bear. Who is it? Elijah sends the bear to chase the kids for calling them bald.
That's a good one.
That's a fun. It's a fun, memorable chase scene.
David spent a lot of time on the run.
That's true. There's a lot of chase scenes in Psalms.
Yeah. He's
hiding in caves left and right. You think he's just wandering casually from cave to cave? No, he's running. There's chasing. Yeah. All right.
Okay, we've got to move on from this. I want to talk about another post that went viral recently, which was a job that was posted on LinkedIn. So in India, there's a company called Monk Entertainment, and their CEO, Viraj Sheth, posted a job looking for professional doom scrollers. So this role would require someone to spend hours every single day glued to Instagram, YouTube, Reddit, spotting trends before they break. Applicants would need to log at least 6 hours a day, and they'd have to know notable and rising influencers and be comfortable using both Excel and gossip forums.
6 hours a day scrolling social media is what most people feel like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people were commenting on this. Like, I actually might be overqualified because I spent even more than this.
But why would that be a helpful skill? Isn't that what an algorithm does? Like what would human insight do?
What he's trying to do is spot it before the algorithm blows something up. The whole point of it, like you said, was to spot trends before they become algorithmic trends. Like there's certain indicators that this is something the algorithm is going to push. Like what we found on a lot of our posts is we'll post it and then it's 3 days later, it explodes. Like it'll just be like normal reception when we post it. And then we like move on. We're posting other stuff.
But we kind of know posting it. It's like, you know what? It might not blow up right away, but in 3 days we're going to check it, and it has thousands.
This will be one the algorithm likes. What he's trying to do is get ahead of that. He's trying to spot stuff for his company before it becomes the algorithm blowing something up. So
anyway. But
so there you go. How do you apply?
On LinkedIn.
Oh,
I think you also do have to be in India because he's looking specifically for like Indian influencer stuff. But it does make me think, like, I don't know, just thinking about the algorithm and with the rise of AI, I just feel like, is this really a job that we need a human to do every day?
But maybe that is the point, because with the rise of AI and algorithms, maybe the human touch, the human selection, human curation. We talked about that with Derek a few weeks ago about bring back the blog era, bring back the curators, the gatekeepers, the people with taste that isn't just a robot. Maybe that's what he's going for. I could definitely see the value in that.
Yeah. Isn't that just Substack though? Like, isn't that sort of like self-curated, non-algorithmic, sort of?
Right. You want to try that one again?
Real close.
Algorithmic.
You're doing aluminium. You're adding an extra vowel like the Brits do with aluminum.
That was perfect. But I feel like there are platforms that are sort of subvert the algorithm, that have higher end content.
Well, maybe Relevant will hire a doom scroll.
I think podcasts do that.
These days.
I think podcasts do that, by the way. Particularly if you're listening on like traditional platforms. I feel like those are still like discovery platforms or curation platforms that go beyond an algorithm's reach,
How so?
Well, if you're encountering a podcast on like YouTube or social and that's your entry point, then an algorithm probably got you there. But mostly if you find a podcast on a traditional audio platform, unless it's featured on like the front page of Apple or Spotify, you had to seek it out. And you mostly probably found that through word of mouth. And so I think it is one of the mediums, specifically, outside of like the top charts, which there's an algorithm behind it, but it's not as tailored. It's kind of a universal one. I still think it somewhat subverts algorithmic logic and relies on.
You're adding algorithmic. You're adding an M in there. Algorithmic.
You get what I'm saying, but it relies on traditional methods of discovery, which is often word of mouth.
You know, the end of the show is going to be
good.
It's going to be the 17 different ways you said algorithmic.
People from all over the world be like, I say it like that.
In Britain,
listeners, how do you say algorithmic? That's what
it's algorithmic.
You're missing the more.
Algorithmic.
That's what you were like. Al Gore rhythm Mick.
Close enough.
Algorithmic. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh my gosh. All right. Moving on to the last thing. There was a theater in Texas that made headlines this week after a bishop was brought in to bless moviegoers before they saw The Conjuring Last Rites, which is the newest installment of the Conjuring franchise.
Jesse, you find this series interesting. I know I hate horror movies. I don't know how you feel about horror movies, but you always like this one because the writers of The Conjuring were Christians. And the spiritual darkness that they dealt with was biblical, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of horror movies, either through allegory. No, I'm just kidding. Allegory. I was just joking.
Algorithmic is what you're trying to say.
I think a lot of horror movies deal with a lot of themes that could be traced back to Christian ideas through allegory, which is good and evil, self-sacrifice. Ultimately, that like zombie movies are really about, wait, are we the monsters? Are zombies, is this kind of horrible force actually show our true colors, and are we the actual monsters here? But The Conjuring, it's very literal. And these are stories of spiritual possession and exorcism. I think they're really interesting and are based on, a lot of them, I'm not saying they're like word for word true stories, but a lot of them are based on actual events that the two kind of primary individuals encountered. And so, yeah, I think it's and it's one of the most successful horror franchises of all time.
And what's interesting about it too, and I don't watch horror movies because, garbage in, garbage out. I don't want to mess around with that stuff. But you
do watch reality TV.
Oh yeah, I learned so much about Mormon theology. It's an educational experience for me. Leave me alone. The thing about, there's two types of horror movies. There's like boo, like jump scare kind of horror movies. It's more suspense thrillers kind of thing. And then there's the dark spiritual horror movies, which is what this is dealing with. But what's interesting about The Conjuring, because it is dealing with really like the biblical spiritual dimension, that if you're a believer, you believe that there is spiritual warfare and there's demons and there's angels and there's, like this is happening. We are not living in reality. That's reality, right? I mean, as Christians, we do believe that. And The Conjuring is actually showing and portraying that darkness. Like they're showing the evil that is like the biblical evil, which I do not find entertaining. And I don't want to go see it with popcorn at a movie theater. But anyway, some people do. They station this actual priest as a marketing stunt. Yes, it's a marketing stunt. Yes, we're playing along. Yes, we're, talking about it, which was the whole point, because it's promo for the movie. But they really did station a real priest doing real holy water blessings. And he's a bishop. Sorry, he's not a priest. Thanks for the correction, Emily. At the movie theater, because this is like the real evil stuff, not just scary movie evil stuff. This is like real darkness. And there were like other viral stunts around other Conjuring movies over the years, including up to this year, but back starting in 2016, that at screenings, people were having like manifestation of demonic possessions and stuff in the theaters, which is just absolutely not something you want to mess around with. But anyway.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want to mess around with it, but I also feel like outside of Catholicism, honestly, it's not taken seriously in a lot of mainstream Christian discussion and denominations. In terms, there are literal roles within the Catholic hierarchy that are dedicated to the casting down of demons, which is something that is biblically mandated, but sort of just ignored in modern spirituality. And I do think it's cool that there is at least a cultural touch point for people to think about these ideas, because there are lots of ideas that you encounter in scripture going all the way back to the Old Testament, and giants and human angelic being hybrids and the Watchers, that we don't even know what these beings were. We know that they somehow traveled here, like that we just tend to ignore, because they don't have practical application to our spiritual well-being in the moment. And that's sort of the a lot of the discussions favor that, where there's a lot of elements to scripture that are worthy of inspection, even if it takes something like Hollywood to find how to package it in a way that's interesting to people,
I agree.
And I think, Cameron, to your point, like in the past, they've done kind of these viral marketing stunts about kind of faking a demonic possession, which we obviously have a lot of issues with. I appreciate if they're going to market it, they're going to bring in an actual bishop and bless and hand out holy water and little prayer cards.
You know what they should do? Instead of just bringing in a Catholic bishop, they should bring in bishops from every denomination, like a Kojic bishop, a Baptist. Do Baptists have bishops? No.
No.
I
Deacons.
know the Assemblies of God does. They should just have a variety of bishops, all just
faith leaders.
Almost like when you sign up at college, you sign up for the different clubs or Rush, and there's like little tables out in the quad. Like they have all the different denominational bishops there, and you can go to the one you want before you go see the movie. I think.
Well, I will say this bishop. So his name is Brian Owlett. He kind of does stuff like this before. He's been on like paranormal shows like Ghost Adventures, or I think he was on like an episode of Dateline talking about stuff. So he's been kind of dubbed
the Summer I Turned Pretty.
The Summer I Turned Pretty, famously, he's been kind of dubbed as the Exorcist bishop.
He's also weirdly into treasure hunting. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
But he does kind of do these things where he goes around and he is like an actual bishop though. He did admit that he canceled mass to attend this event. So
look, I'm here for it. Like I said, I feel like there are whole elements of scripture that are super interesting that play a major role that are just absolutely ignored in a lot of strands of modern Christianity. And I think it's very cool, even if it's not your thing, like, individually and personally to like watch a movie about. Mm-hmm. It's still a topic that I think is worthy of discussion, because it's if you believe the Bible, you can't filter out what you want to be real and what you don't, It's a part of the narrative. I mean, there's literally a ghost is literally conjured up at one point in the Bible. There are just interesting ideas that I don't feel like are totally addressed.
And if you want to get a free bottle of holy water, you can go to your local movie theater.
Super into the Conjuring series, Mormons.
Are they?
Yeah, super into it. I don't know. All right, that'll do it for Relevant Buzz. Make sure to check out those stories and a lot more over at relevantmagazine.com. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Emily and I algorithmically are going to tell you about the brand new issue of Relevant. Issue 117 is out today. Give us a couple minutes. You'll enjoy it. Well, today's episode is brought to you in part by Sanctuary Mental Health Ministries. Mental health and faith are big topics to cover, even more so when you're talking with teenagers. The Sanctuary Youth Series helps youth leaders, pastors, teachers, and parents break it down, covering topics like a theology of mental health, emotions, stigma, recovery, friendship, self-care, and more. The Sanctuary Youth Series is an 8-week resource designed for 11 to 15-year-olds. Help the next generation experience the church as a supportive space for mental health. Run the Sanctuary Youth Series today at sanctuarymentalhealth.org/relevant. Again, that's sanctuarymentalhealth.org/relevant. Are you a recent college grad or about to graduate from college and have no idea what's next? Check out the Global Ambassador Program, or GAP, with ELIC. GAP is a professional development program that will help you gain the tools you need for a lifetime of impact. Be immersed in the cultures of Thailand, Tunisia, or Uzbekistan for 9 months as you take language classes, grow in your faith, and serve the local community alongside a team of other Christian young professionals. And get this, ELIC recently opened applications for 2026. You could be on a plane next summer, impacting lives and reaching your fullest potential. To learn more about GAP and take the next step, go to elic.org/relevant. That's elic.org/relevant. All right. Well, like I mentioned, the new issue of Relevant came out today. We published a print mag for 17 years from 2003 to 2020 and put it on quote unquote hiatus when COVID hit. And we're still on said hiatus. We do have plans. If you have been to Relevant Store, you know that we are and have been for a while doing pre-orders for an annual print edition. That is still happening. If you have pre-ordered, we've sent out some emails, but that is still in motion. What that'll be is annually we're doing digital magazines like this issue that we're going to tell you about, and then we will compile the best of that content into a coffee table publication that you can keep year round. And very excited about that. That'll be debuting a little later this year, actually. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, the digital issue 117 is out now. You can view it for free over at relevantmagazine.com. Just click on the magazine tab. All the feature articles are there. Something we're doing different this time is if you've been to the site, you know that we have Relevant Plus. Relevant Plus is a monthly membership that you can sign up for as low as $250 a month, and you can get ad-free version of this podcast, ad-free reading at the website. But you also get a subscriber edition of this digital issue. And this issue, we are taking it to another level. It is going back to the full level of the print publication, i.e., front matter, columns, like all the stuff that made the print mag is back, and it is only available for subscribers, all the front matter stuff. It's very exciting. Can't wait for your subscribers to see that. But all the features of the issue are available for free. You guys can all go read them on our social media. We're posting everything on Instagram and Facebook and all the places that we post content. But you can go and browse the whole thing over at relevantmagazine.com as well. Like I mentioned, the cover story is highlighting this new wave of amazing Christian indie artists that are really changing the game. They are unabashedly faith forward in their lyrics. They are absolutely amazing in their musical prowess. They are blowing up outside of the label system, and that is really fun to see happening. Allison Ide, who was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, has one of our favorite kind of viral Christian songs right now called I Don't Know. Her face is on the cover, but the cover story also has Jay Manuel, Gracie Benyon, Strings and Heart, and Sarah George. And we get into all their stories and multimedia. You can experience all their music, and each of them have amazing stories and really are doing amazing work and blowing up. I mean, like I mentioned, Strings and Heart, like had 300,000 followers on Instagram, or monthly listeners on Spotify, sorry. And now they're in the millions. I mean, like they're all like ascending rapidly, and it's fun to watch. So catch on to them now. You can be one of those people that said like, oh, I was a big fan of Strings and Heart before they were popular, if you go read our cover story.
It was really cool when we were thinking about, what we want to be on the cover of this issue. We tossed around a few ideas, but when we started talking about highlighting this new wave of Christian indie artists, we just knew that was kind of really where we're at. That's us. That's what we want to talk about, because there's just so many amazing artists, like we said, who are doing really unique and new things. We're excited to see where they go from here.
Yeah. Also in the issue, we'll go quickly through the rest. We have a great piece with Elevation Rhythm. Awesome article there. Judah Smith, we just had a conversation with him. He just co-wrote a book with Dr. Leslie Parrott about mental health and faith, and we wrestle with that and get into that with him. Fascinating conversation. Also, you wrote a piece, Lindsay Snyder, the CEO of In-N-Out, is a bold Christian. And we know that the company had like a Christian origin because they put verses on their wrappers and stuff. But Lindsay herself, which I think she's the fourth generation, is that right? To lead the company?
Fourth generation.
Yeah. Billionaire, inherited it a long time ago, but has taken the chain to another level and put her mark on everything. And she is as faith forward as anybody. Tell us about it.
Yeah, she took over the company when she was 27. She's been there for about 15 years, but she just is like through and through. Faith is so clearly a part of her life and her business model. A lot of times when I talk to people about their faith, sometimes I try to ease into the conversation. From the first question, she was ready to talk about it and ready to talk about how she implements biblical models into her leadership. And she talked about they pray together in business meetings, and it's really cool to see this massive company that you maybe don't know it, but they are very Christian throughout.
The Lindsay's story too is kind of crazy. She said, I'm not putting words in her mouth. She said she had kind of conventional daddy issues growing up, was a wild child, has gone through multiple divorces, had a lot of challenges in her life, and then this was kind of thrust on her when her dad passed away unexpectedly, and so she stepped into it and turned her life around and really found her faith in that journey, and is very outspoken. It's like we've talked about. It's like the Christians who are the most outspoken about their faith are usually the ones that are kind of newer to the faith. Not that she's new now, but like she went through something, found God,
like a radical change, honestly.
Yeah, and is excited to talk about it versus just growing up in the church. Also, we have a feature with Portugal the Man. Great art, great group, great new album. Rodney Jerkins, super producer Rodney Jerkins. He's produced everybody from, literally the Mount Rushmore. Let's go down the list.
Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears,
Whitney Houston, all the way up to the current artists. This guy's, he's a PK. His dad's a pastor, and he grew up in the church, and he's a believer. And he said one day he was driving here in Orlando, where we both live, and they were going through the radio stations, and they came across our Christian hip hop station, and his kids were in the car, and they were like really digging it. Like, this is great. And one of his kids goes, Dad, you should start a Christian hip hop label. And he said that idea just struck him. And he decided that he wants to give this next chapter of his career and his platform and all of the access he has because of this unbelievable, production career that he's built. He wants to focus on Christian hip hop and making a mark and, for the Lord. And so he's started a label. We tell the whole story of that and the artist that he has and his heart and his vision, where it's going. It's a fascinating story. Rodney Jerkins. Yeah. He may not be a household name, but you know what he's done, You
know his songs for sure. He this year alone, he got inducted into the Songwriter Hall of Fame. So he's written some of the biggest hits. And I love that, kind of like Lindsay, he is just focused on bringing faith into the mainstream in any way he can.
Willie Robertson from Duck Dynasty is in the issue. If you heard last podcast, he was on the podcast last week. You know why? Because we thought the magazine would be out last week, and that was to coincide with Willie being on the podcast. Well, God's timing. Anyway, Willie Robertson, we have a great conversation with him. Cautious Clay, one of our favorite alt R&B artists, is in the issue. Jamie McDonald, who's a Christian artist who's kind of really exploded on the CCM scene this year. She's got an amazing backstory.
Yeah.
Amazing testimony.
She had honestly a rough childhood. She tells us all about it in the story. And just the way that her faith has carried her through so many seasons. And she's just blowing up now. And we're excited to see, just where her bold faith takes her next.
Nathan Davis Jr., who's one of my favorite new artists. He is somebody that I would have loved to put in the cover story, but honestly, it's kind of like, he's only got like 2 or 3 songs out, and he's already like at this level.
Yeah,
I couldn't see coming. So we gave him his own feature. Nathan Davis Jr.
He has his own like unique story too. Just like his creativity is unlike anyone I've ever really seen.
Yeah, the Christian industry definitely hasn't seen anything like Nathan Davis Jr. And wrapping things up, we have a conversation with Pastor Stephen Chandler, but it's not a faith one. It's about dating, and I'll tell you, he has 10 tips for dating, and they are all very helpful.
And I wrote down every single one of them.
You didn't have to write them down. They're written down in the article.
No, I copy and pasted them. But...
Oh, okay, got it. You highlighted the article like a Bible?
Yeah, instead of editing it, I was like, wait, I actually need to just take this for myself.
You take it to small group, hand it out, like photocopy it and hand it out.
Yeah, like a pamphlet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like this is the curriculum for today's small group series. Anyway, new issue. I mentioned where to find it. It's at relevantmagazine.com. You can read it for free. If you want the beautiful edition with front matter and columns and all the extras that we put into a normal full issue, you can sign up right there at relevantmagazine.com. Like I said, plans start as low as $250 a month for Relevant Plus. Okay, great job, Emily. Thanks. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's One Has to Go. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's Soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Today's show is brought to you in part by the new documentary, Buying Her. Why is sex trafficking a multi-billion-dollar industry? Sex buyers. To end trafficking, we need to put them in the spotlight. The documentary Buying Her, created by the organization Exodus Cry, is a first-of-its-kind film exposing the truth about sex buyers. It captures the unfiltered stories of men revealing how they became predatory consumers in the booming sex trade and how some of them found redemption. Buying Her strikes at the very heart of sex trafficking, and it's available to watch now for free at buyingher.com. All right, it's time for One Has to Go. Okay, this was written by us, not the algorithmic selections. Algorithmically, Al Gore had nothing to do with these picks. We chose these. Here we go. We're doing One Has to Go. I'm going to tell you 4 things. You tell me one that has to go. Jesse, you're up first. Hot stuff, Hot Pockets, Hot Cheetos, Hot Yoga, and Hot Topic. One has to go.
It's definitely Hot Yoga. I mean, that's always seemed pointless to me, and just terrible. And all of the other ones, I got no beef with. May not be my thing, but it doesn't have to go.
All right. Emily, sweet things. Sweet Caroline, Sweet Child of Mine, Sweet Tea, and Sweet Home Alabama? One has to go.
I think it's going to be Sweet Child of Mine. Because I have to have sweet tea. I'm from the South. That's kind of
Wait,
like...
is Sweet Child of Mine, is that the Guns N' Roses song?
Yes, I think so.
All right, there you go.
And I'm going to be more likely to pick Sweet Caroline for karaoke. So
There you go. Jesse, rock icons. The Rock, School of Rock, Rock Band, and Plymouth Rock. One of those rocks has to go.
I'm going to have to go with The Rock. I heard Smashing Machine is good, his new movie, but aside from that, I've just not been into The Rock, you know?
It's looking very svelte these days. Dropped some muscle mass.
Yeah, well, I mean...
people are like really concerned about him and they're like, he's sick. And I'm like, I think he just decided he didn't want to be
Yeah, he didn't want to
a
be
literal
bulked up.
rock.
He's like 60 years old. Let the man
Yeah,
just
he didn't want to
slim
die of
down.
a heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's actually Hulk Hogan over here. All right, Emily, high entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like Adult Swim, you know, the weekends.
Oh.
No, high entertainment. High School Musical, High Fidelity, the movie, High School Musical 2, or High Noon. One has to go.
Obviously, the High School Musicals are staying, of course. I think it's going to be High Noon. I don't know if I've seen that one. Is it a Western?
There you go. Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
Jesse,
sorry.
Star Power, Star Wars, Star Trek, A Star is Born, the new one, not the old one, and Dancing with the Stars. One has to go. Remember, there are Mormons on this season of Dancing with the Stars.
I'm going to say...
Your favorite group.
I'm going to say A Star is Born. Haven't seen it, but looks like kind of a bummer. And so...
Wait.
Boy. Dude,
What are
Shallow
you
is amazing.
Shallow's good. I just don't know if I need a whole movie. I feel like I got the gist of it. I feel like I got the gist of the movie just hearing the song.
Dude,
I will say,
it is
I saw
such a
it-
good movie.
Okay.
It'll mess you up, but it's an excellent movie.
I'll say this. I saw it a few months after it had been released. I went in with very high expectations. It was a good movie. I do think it was overhyped, but it is worth a watch. So you should see it.
Just to see Bradley Cooper sing with Lady Gaga and not hold his own. That's
Specifically
worth the
just to
price
see
of
Lady
admission.
Gaga, but yeah.
It's really, yeah, her acting was fantastic. Anyway, but yeah, very sad. It's kind
Yeah,
of like Old Yeller at the end, you know?
You're not into horror
Spoiler.
movies. I'm not into big sad dramas. Just not into it, you know?
What do you think about La La Land?
Indifferent. Probably would never watch it again, you know? Like,
I watch
don't
it
like
3 times a
music.
year.
Musicals.
great.
Yeah.
It's not a typical musical. Come on.
Each their own.
It's
you know?
art.
It's no High School
wonderful.
Musical, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, Emily, cold options. Cold Brew, Cold Play, Cold War Kids, and Cold Stone Creamery. One has to go.
Controversial. I'm getting rid of Cold Stone Creamery.
Thank you. I'm with you on that one.
I don't like ice cream. Coldplay gave us a great viral moment this summer.
I don't need you to like get a frozen wok and do all paddles on my ice cream. Just give me the scoop it. Fine.
Well, see, that's the thing. I would not pick ice cream ever. So
I can't think last time I had it. Jesse, Friday Night Lights. Oh, sorry. Light choices. Here we go. Friday Night Lights, light beer, Lite, the actual brand. Light Yagami, which is Death Note, or Christmas lights. One of those has to go. Friday Night Lights, light beer, light Yagami, or Christmas lights.
What's Light Yagami?
It's anime. It's all the
Gone.
rage right now.
Gone.
Oh, all right.
Gone.
I have a kid who likes anime, so
I can hear
Yeah.
Derek screaming.
Gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend and a kid who like anime. So. All right, last round. Here we go. Emily, Big Energy, Big Max, Big Brother, Big Hero 6, or Biggie Smalls? One has to go.
Ooh, I'm about to make some people very mad.
Don't
It is
you dare.
It's already gone.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry. I'm
You know what?
picking
That's
Biggie
like
Smalls.
saying, like, get rid of George Washington. He's already gone. Who cares? What did he do? No, he was one of the most important presidents ever. He's one of the most important rappers ever.
Listen,
Big Hero
I mean,
6? You're keeping Big Hero 6 over that?
I
A
cried at that
mid-Pixar
one.
movie? Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, some of us are a little more emotional than others.
All right. Now last one. We have 1 minute left. Here we go. Fast picks, Jesse. Fast and Furious, Fast Food, Fast Pass at Disney or Universal, or Fast Times at Ridgemont High. One of those fast has to go.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Don't feel like that's probably aged well. You know,
I
a lot of
literally the other day randomly watched it. It was like one of these nights I was working super late, and it
And?
was just like, it does not hold up.
a lot of those movies.
Did it ever?
It felt icky. It's just
a lot of that era movies I don't think they're
felt
moral and
icky.
ethical standards. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, they would never make this movie today. All right, last one. Here we go. Emily,
Yeah.
real fast. 2000s teen dramas. The OC, Gossip Girl, One Tree Hill, or Dawson's Creek? One has to go.
Hardest question you've ever asked me. It's going to be Gossip Girl. Every single thing could have been solved if they just talked to each other.
Also, gossip's a sin. What would Jesus do? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that I don't care about, but. Kidding.
Okay,
kidding.
you heard it. It's on the record. Everybody, she doesn't care about what Jesus do.
Algorithmically, I messed up. I'm so sorry.
All right, that'll do it for. Make sure to check out issue 117 of Relevant. Like I said, you can find it at relevantmagazine.com. You can find it on our socials. And if you want to sign up for the enhanced premium edition, you will get it immediately when you sign up for Relevant Plus at relevantmagazine.com. Not only will you get the new issue, you'll get this podcast ad-free, and you'll get ad-free unlimited reading at relevantmagazine.com as well. And we really appreciate the support. All right, on that note, we'll wrap it. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
We'll see you next Friday. Have a great week, everybody.
Algorithmic logic.
Relevant Podcast Network.